There are a lot of gubernatorial battles that are going to be happening in 2022, and one of them that I'm going to be watching for is hopefully getting rid of Bruce Campbell there. Gretchen Whitmer from Michigan. And it looks like the trends are positive, okay? Mostly when you take a look at modern day polls, okay, at least the polls from about, well, we went back and we took a look at 2012. So from about that time forward, it's just where are the trends going, okay? It's not what the numbers are. It's not what the results are, okay? And unless Democrats are polling Democrats, they have a really fucked time trying to figure out what the rest of the normal people are talking about because they're anything but normal. So they did some research, okay? Republicans face uphill battle to unseat Michigan Governor Democrat Gretchen Whitmer. Depends. I don't even know who one of the elected candidates, okay? Not elected, sorry. One of the declared candidates to run against her on the Democrats side. Well, if there's going to be any Democrats to try to unseat her, but I'm pretty sure it's a split house in Michigan, okay? I'm not entirely sure if they have both, or the Republicans have both the House and the Senate, but I think that's the case. And Democrats, oh my God, Whitmer's the only Democrat left standing there, but Gretchen Whitmer holds a nearly 10-point lead over her closest Republican competitor, former Detroit police chief. Yeah, no wonder. Okay, she has a 10-point lead over that. Okay, would you fucking elect somebody so inept and corrupt as a former Detroit police chief? Fuck is going on? James Craig in Michigan's 2022 race for governor, according to a poll published Tuesday. The poll, conducted on behalf of WDIV in the Detroit News, an affiliate to the USA Today, and for more opinions on what the USA Today are all about, just watch the previous video. So it looks like they laid out another map. Whitmer leads by 9.5%, garnering 48.6% of support compared to Craig's 39.1%. Undecided voters account for 11.7%. Interesting. That's a lot, okay? Maybe they're just holding out for somebody competent to run against her. While Whitmer enjoys a nearly double-digit lead in the matchup, and even greater leads in a hypothetical matchup against other Republican candidates, poll respondents did not overwhelmingly support the Democratic governor when she became the only option. Yeah, she's about as popular as sudden infant death syndrome. So if they would just put up a competent opposition, if they're Republicans, okay, or if there's some Democrat that is out there that could primary her, they'd have a fighting shot, okay? Because, yeah, you just take a look at the singular popularity polls for Whitmer, and they look something like Joe Biden's. Asked if respondents would vote to re-elect Whitmer or someone new, literally anybody. Call up Kwame Brown, see what the fuck he's on about. A plurality, or 41% opted for someone new, while 39.9% said that they would re-elect Whitmer. That's not an overwhelming, okay, amount of support there. That's pretty fucking abysmal. Another 12.2% said that they would vote, that their vote would depend on who's running against Whitmer. Either they would sit out or somebody else, because it would be really tough to find anybody worse off than her. The poll also revealed that Whitmer's approval rating has seen a spike. What? Which WDIV credits to independent voters shifting 45 points in favor of Whitmer's job performance. What the fuck is wrong with Michigan? Or am I missing something? Like, is she just handing out blowjobs or mandating everybody has to eat candy for dinner? Like, everything that she does sucks, at least from a outside point of view. I don't get it. Or who are they surveying? Her fucking family members? It's like, she's really great. She lets us go out on boating expeditions and there's nobody else out on the lake. Signed, Craig W. Whitmer's overall approval numbers showing 56.2% approval and 39.6% disapproval for the governor. Wow. Contrast her declining ratings among voters last year. But things haven't gotten better in Michigan, okay? Maybe they actually bought the whole, oh my God, they were trying to kidnap her. Those radical Trump supporters, you know, the guy who had a fucking Antifa flag behind him and all the feds that were involved in that, but whatever. Multiple polls conducted in 2021 while Whitmer's restrictive coronavirus measures were in place, measures that drew heavy criticism from Republicans and people who just like liberty, okay, showed Whitmer's approval sagging when compared with earlier versions of the same polls before she became an out-and-out tyrant. While the polls provided an early grain of optimism for Whitmer, her gubernatorial race is expected to become a highly competitive toss-up election. Cook Political Report, they were pretty good. They were pretty good with every race except for the presidential race in 2020. I wonder why. Looking at all of the other outstanding races, okay? So what do they have in the way too early prognostications, okay? As much as December race ratings report in which it shifted the Michigan election from lean D to toss up. And they have a, you can kind of see it, but I'm just going to read it out anyways, and we're not going to go to Twitter. Just the embedded results are interesting in and of itself. Okay, so you have 11 states that they've polled, and only 3 are apparently getting more Democratic, and we're going to see, okay, none of them are going from being Republican strongholds to incredible new gains for the Democrats. Did you expect anything different? But you got Michigan from a lean D to toss up, like we previously said, and Wisconsin's following a similar pattern. And again, I don't know who's running in any of these states except for one that we'll get to in a second. Lean D to toss up. Okay, Nevada, very interesting, okay, because they were hit hard because they're a massive tourism state for obvious fucking reasons, and they were locked down hard by their governor, whose name escapes me at the moment, but he'll be up again. So lean D would toss up. Okay, so the first 3 following the same pattern. And then you have Georgia. Okay, and this one you can explain a couple of different ways. Okay, they're going from a lean Republican to a toss up. Are they trying to replace, like, oh, Ohio's a toss up state? Wait a minute, they voted for Trump at like 9.8%. Okay, by 9.8 points. Oh, okay, fuck, we need to find another toss-up state. Georgia? Yeah, sure, it was already included in there, so, you know, go ahead and shuffle that shit however you want, but the support of Brian Kemp, okay, and he says he's going to be running for re-election, so theoretically he is the front runner right now. And who's the front runner for the Democrats? The 2018 opponent who still won't give up and says that I won 2018, Stacey Fatheaded Abrams. And again, Republicans still are salty about Brian Kemp for obvious fucking reasons, and he is at best an unreliable ally to say the least. But Vernon Jones, okay, a young up-and-comer in the Republican Party, former NFL player. He's running for governor. Okay, so if he successfully primaries Brian Kemp, I don't know how much of a lean or a toss-up that would make, but it's going to make for a very interesting race, to say the least. Then you got Maine, a likely Democratic state to only leaning Democrat. Okay, Massachusetts going from solid red to lean Democrat. I don't know, did they get somebody popular to run for the Democrats? But I'm surprised that Massachusetts was solid red when it came to the governorship anyways. So that's just very odd, to say the least. Oregon, solid D to likely D. Oh, why did they drop off their Democratic support? Maybe all of the burnt down buildings in Portland aren't as popular as they were beforehand? Interesting. New Mexico, solid D to likely D, so more Republican support in the place that expressed immediate regret after Joe Biden signed away all of their right to print money thanks to the oil and gas industry flourishing in New Mexico prior to 2021. Regret sucks. And then you got Iowa and South Carolina moving into solid red, or solid Republican, whatever, solid red, solid Republican, same difference. A territory. And then, of course, you have New York just self-flagellating over and over again because they're retarded. So, yeah, according to at least the Cook County data, okay, the Republican primary for Michigan is supposed to take place August 2nd. So, there's a whole list of them. A real venerable who's that running for the Republican side. The aforementioned Craig with a 45%. Respondents recognizing his name, great. Followed by businessman Kevin Reinke and chiropractor Garrett Solando at about 20% name recognition. Oof. Conservative media personality Tudor Dixon, I have no idea who these people are, came forth with about 14% of respondents recognizing her. I thought that was a guy. I literally thought that was a guy, okay? Oh yeah, if anybody wants to swoop in there and challenge Whitmer, it looks like there's a door at least a little bit cracked open. So if it's the right person, they could blow this motherfucker wide open. And that would be a big get because Michigan, man, it's a tough place, but they're trending in the right direction. Kind of like a lot of other states are. It's fucking weird, huh? Because last time I checked, Biden was the most popular president ever, and you'd think that continued for 4 years. I don't know, weird. It's so weird that, in fact, his predecessor running for president looks like she's going to be the front runner. Can you fucking believe this? Oh my god. We talked about it when the story first popped out, and I've been a very, very big proponent because she was likely to still swoop in 2020 during the final hour if Joe Biden finally sprung that last leak in his old dome. But here we go again, boys. We're stuck in that time warp, okay? It's not like we haven't been living in a cultural malaise since about, what, the mid-90s? Okay, nothing has really changed, and guess what? We're just stuck in a time loop 2016 over and over again. Democrats still aren't over it, so they think that they can really win behind Hillary Clinton. Well, maybe they're just all scared of her and they don't want to get Epsteined. Democrat insiders are pushing failed presidential candidate Hillary Clinton as a potential 2024 frontrunner. Yeah, because her policies would be so much different from Biden's, right? Yeah, Orange Man's just so bad, though. Even though his numbers continue to trend upwards, it's fucking weird. In a Tuesday Wall Street Journal op-ed, Sean Cooperman, oy vey, former pollster for Bill Clinton, said that his wife was really popular. Wow. I wonder if he has any information that would lead to the incarceration of Hillary Clinton. I hear that's one of the very, very prominent comorbidities of the coof, but whatever. A former New York City Council member in Andrew Stein, once again, oy vey, for posterity's sake, wrote Hillary Clinton is the Democrats' best option to defeat Republican nominee for president in 2024. Say his name. Hillary Clinton remains ambitious, outspoken, and convinced that it is not a Federal Bureau of Investigation Director James Comey intervention and Russian interference, which she solicited, that she would have won the 2016 election. Very possibly the first part. Very possibly, but we can't run it back. But she wants to. The men wrote about Hillary Clinton's 2016 loss, and she may be right. It's possible. It's very possible. Report dismisses Vice President Kamala Harris, who's about as popular as Crib Death, or President Joe Biden as legitimate 2024 contenders. Joe Biden would get absolutely fucking steamrolled hard. Harder than a recount would find of a theoretical election. Anyways, alternatively, the authors estimate Hillary would be would be considered the change candidate by idiots? By what? She's the same establishment. Whatever. These are deep Democrat insiders, okay? People who are deep in the Clinton establishment, but she would be the change candidate. Okay. To Democrats' failed leadership while controlling all branches of government leading up to 2022. And she is already in an advantageous position to become the 2024 Democratic nominee. I can't believe I'm reading this. She is experienced national figure who is younger than Biden. That's a fact. Holy shit. And can offer a different approach from the disorganized and unpopular one of the party is currently taking. Yeah, what's different? She's a woman. What about policy, though? She's a woman. Oh, okay, we get it. Isn't like the entire Biden administration staffed with broads, though? Anyways, they'd be staffed with more broads, but most of them would be kindling if they didn't do a good enough job. Two insiders also pointed Hillary's recent posturing statements about which type of radical Democrat is most suited to win the Democrat primary. One who's a snazzy dresser with proper coloration in their pantsuits. In a recent MSNBC interview, Mrs. Clinton called on Democrats to engage in careful thinking about what wins elections. What would she know? And not just in deep blue districts. Again, what would she know? Where is a Democrat and a liberal Democrat or a so-called progressive Democrat just keep naming things that continue to lose outside of the New York City, Los Angeles, San Francisco, is going to win. Chicago as well, where the Hillary Clinton was from at some point in time, I guess. She also noted that party's House majority comes from people who win in much more difficult districts. That's why so many of them keep on retiring. Anyways, mentioning Bill Clinton's reflections on Hillary's failed 2016 campaign, the report suggests even Bill Clinton recently set the stage for his wife's potential 2024 candidacy. Yeah, we just need to get the bitch out of the house. She's getting annoying. I don't like the way she looks at me. It gives me the creeps. Bill told People magazine in December that his wife still remains the most qualified person to run for office in my lifetime, including me. Yes, she knows where all the bodies are hidden, literally, because she put them there. And suggested her failed bid against Donald Trump was one of the most profound mistakes we ever made. Oh, it's so nice that they have at least a touch of self-awareness. I get what they were actually talking about. Donald Trump defeated Hillary Clinton. Oh, God, yay. If they're going to reminisce about the past, why not me? By 77 Electoral College votes in 2016, Hillary has dubbed her failed candidacy a loss that made her cry. Yeah, and get really drunk and then have to deliver her concession speech, which I never thought that I'd have to deliver the next day because she was just so apoplectic that night. But yeah, man, that's the future. The future is the past for the Democratic Party. Because I said it yesterday, the fucking bench is barren on that side. That's why they keep on running back all of these failed fucking politicians over and over and over again. Joe Biden, on his third attempt to become president, became the most popular of all time. Who would have thought he was just getting held back by Barack Obama and plagiarism in the 1980s? But then he also gave way to fucking Walter Mondale, so it just goes to show you the caliber of person Joe Biden really is. What, Beta O'Rourke running for fucking governor of Texas? Oh my God, that's gonna be a fucking bloodbath there. And then the presidential candidates, like what? Who's gonna run out? Kamala Harris, not 0.1% of the fucking primary vote. Mayor Pete Buttplug. Mr. Rhodes are racist. Okay, Pete. What, Andrew Yang when he's not spurging out about his, what, Unity Party, Liberty Party, Irrelevant Party, Birthday Party? Like what? Who are you guys going to run? Bernie Sanders? You going to prop him up with the fucking ghosts of Stalin and Lenin holding up his shoulders so his fucking head doesn't fall and hit his pelvis? Like, who the fuck is left? You got nothing. So that's why you're going to trot out this old fucking hag once again. If I run again, I'll be able to beat him. Not cry more. Hopefully she stocks up her liquor cabinet for another fucking big failure. It was going to be funny, man. After this midterm, it's going to get spicy for the Democrats because there's one candidate on the Republican side. Stop with your DeSantis love, okay? Just give him some time, okay? He'll be added to the ticket and he'll just be, you know, it's set up for the future. I still think that's exactly what's going to happen, but if we're going to get a replay of 2016, and I'm looking even more forward to that. But with all of that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.